On this film, you had a terrific director of photography on this film who knew how to photograph you, and he had a lot of experience. For those of you who are film fans, Kenneth Peach worked at Hal Roach Studios. He was the DP on Sons of the Desert, a lot of the Laurel and Hardy Hal Roach films, and he worked for decades, and he knew how to photograph beautiful women. And he made you look maybe more beautiful than you have appeared in any other film in this movie.
He made me look very flawless, and I was very surprised. I looked so young in that movie. I had just did a movie. I was just about to do a movie with Clark Gable at Paramount, and because Clark had seen me at the Warner Brothers commissary, and he was doing Teacher's Pet with Doris Day, and so there was another female lead in it, and he wanted me for the lead, so second lead. So I said, my agent called me. I accepted the role right away, and that was an experience.
Well, you're really great in that film. I mean, even though you don't have a huge part, you really do stand out in that picture. I just saw that movie, and it's really spectacular.
Teacher's Pet? Yeah. It's a good movie, excellent. George Seaton and Perlberg did it. It's one of those movies that you don't come around too often.
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job,
And you got along well with Mr. Gable?
Oh, I loved it. He said I remind him of Carol Lombard. Well, that was the biggest compliment I could have. And we did get along very well. Mm-hmm. Well, the fact that he did a pictures with my favorite actress of all time is Jean Harlow, and she's the reason why I wanted to become an actress. I wanted to have that platinum white hair, and when I have a new book coming out very soon called "You Thought I Was Dead." That's the name of the book, and. The first thing I talk about is when I saw the picture of her on the cover of the newspaper, and she had died. And I saw this beautiful blonde, and I said, "What happened? She died." And I said, "Oh no!" And I felt sorry. I mean, I was 5 years old, and that picture stuck with me. And she had this platinum white hair. I said, "I want that hair. I want that color hair." So I decided if I ever got to Hollywood, I would make my hair platinum blonde. And so I became that platinum blonde, and I was the second person that he ever worked with, the platinum blonde, was Jean Harlow. And just to work with someone that she had worked with. And then, of course, Howard Hughes. I dated Howard Hughes. And he put me under contract for 5 movies. First time I met him, I was just turning 15. Today he would be called a pedophile, no doubt about it. And I got 5 movies, and from there he told me I had to study acting, and I did, and I did,
And when you got to Hollywood, it was in the late 40s, I understand, and you were on local television, and was that how you were discovered, was on the NTG show, Nils T. Granville?
Well, no, I was discovered in a drugstore on Vine Street.
Is that really true?
It's really true, it really happened.
It's the stuff that led you to
It's just
make
incredible, and NTG was a Swede, Niles Thor Granlund, and he was doing one of the first television shows at the Florentine Gardens. And he asked me if I would be interested in doing the little flower girl, that I would, in a little basket with flowers, and I'd pass it out to the audience. And I said, yes, but I have to ask my mom. So my mother said, yeah. So we went right up there and we met everyone. And that's when I started working, and I was just 14.
And you were Joan Olander then?
Joni Olander.
Does anybody still call you Joan?
Oh, yeah, I think I was named for Joan Crawford.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And so you were under contract to Universal for 3 or 4 years.
I got my contract in January of 53, and I left in 56.
Okay. And did you leave because you felt like you weren't getting the roles that you wanted and you went independent, or what was the reasoning behind it?
I left because I got pregnant.
That happened.
And I had my son. They wanted me to get.
Harry. So you were married to Ray Anthony at that time?
Yeah, I was
obviously.
married to Ray Anthony, and they told me that so-called sex symbols weren't to have babies, and they wanted me to have an abortion, and or they were going to drop me.
Wow.
And so I said okay. And they came to the hospital after I had the baby, and they said you were dropped. They came to the hospital. I said,
Unbelievable.
Uh,
Well, obviously you made the right choice because your
But,
wonderful son
but
is
the
here.
best thing I could have happened, my God.
Yeah.
You know, I look back at it and I said, I did the right thing. And then after
But that
I-
kind of ultimatum is just cruel. That's just.
Well, those things happen. It's the way it was in those days. You were ruled by the studio. You had to do what they told you to go out with the right, everything. It was very controlled, and there wasn't one woman at the studio. They were all in charge. All the men were in charge, not a woman.
Yeah. And of course, everyone talks about the 3 M's, you know, and I know you knew the other M's. And what was the last time that you saw Marilyn Monroe? I think was at a party. And
Oh, I was in the Russian tea room in New York. I saw her. Knowing Marilyn, I was 12 when I first met her. She was just Norma Jean then. And so I've known her. We kind of grew up in that same environment. And when I met her, I knew she was having problems all along. But she got ahead of me. She's 5 years older than I was, and she made it before I did, and made it at 20th. And then I was always the answer to Marilyn Monroe, which I didn't. I was flattered in the beginning, but I didn't want to be compared to her. You know, she's beautiful, but I didn't want to be compared to her because I wasn't anything like Marilyn. I was really wild, really wild.
in real life,
In real life, I was wild.
you're pretty untamed on the screen as well. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of those movies that you made
Well,
after.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's just the way I was. My mother and father are wild too. You know, they married when she had me when she was 17. My dad was only 19 or 20, and they lived through their whole life till they were 80 some years old. And then that's probably when I took after motorcycles, fast cars, and they were sort of what, you know, they did everything. I was always taking care of them, trying to keep them out of trouble. So,
But you know what's incredible is that you're a survivor. You're still here.
yes, I guess I must have mentioned to you.
And what an honor to have you here tonight. I can't even tell you.
Well, Brian, it's very, very much my honor to receive something. I've been in Hollywood, worked in Hollywood since I was 14, so that's 80 years in the show business. And I must say, this is the first time I've been given an award in Hollywood.
Really?
Wow. Well, I didn't know that, but that makes this extra special.
It made me tear up when, even now, you know, great guys at God. I didn't think I'd ever be noticed.
You are noticed and you are remembered and you are beloved. When we told people that you were going to be here, I can't even tell you how much buzz there was, how much excitement. All these folks, fans of yours flying into Los Angeles to see you because you don't make appearances very often. And of course, Alan Eichler and his team getting you here. And you look so beautiful. I mean, it's really a treat.
Okay,
And
I wanna
You're
jump
gonna
in
you're
here for
gonna
a
jump in
second.
because we're running. I know we're running out of time.
Well, I want to get something in here.
All right.
Aside from being one of the most beautiful women that has ever been photographed on the planet,
Oh, my God.
aside from that,
Thank you.
you see, I got a hand, Brian.
Well,
Okay.
he always tries to outdo me. You know how this goes, folks.
But what I want to know is, after watching many of your films, seeing you do things, imagine my shock to see Mamie Van Doren guest starring on The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. And I loved the episode. What was that like, working with Ozzy and Harriet?
Well, there was Ricky Nelson, and it was fun. I truly enjoyed. I've always watched the series, and when they asked me if I would do it, I didn't like to do television. That I was kind of funny about doing television, and I did it. I got the script, and I said, "Oh, this is cute." So I did it, and I had a fun experience. I met Ozzy, and Harriet was very, very standoffish. She wasn't very friendly.
I wonder why.
I don't know. But it was so silly, you know. It's a female feeling, and I've never felt that way about women. I've never been jealous of women. I love women, and I admire anyone that can make it. And I love beautiful women. I love every woman that I've ever met. I've never disliked any of them, even if they don't like me.
That's a good attitude to have.
Can we briefly talk about Three Nuts in Search of a Bolt?
Oh, yeah,
And Tommy
okay,
Noonan.
that was with Tommy Noonan.
Yeah.
Three Nuts in Search of a Bolt was a little risque. I didn't plan on doing a beer bath scene at the end. I told them that I wasn't going to do the movie with anything naked. And then Playboy magazine came along, and I said, well, maybe I will, because you're only young once, right? And I wanted to be nude. I said, let people see my body. I had a beautiful body then, and I'm very proud of my body even today. I've never had any surgery or nothing like that. And so I said, I'll do it. So Hef was very happy, and he paid me some money for it, and I got paid for it, and then I got paid extra. I owned part of the movie, so I did. I took my beer bath at the end.
We're grateful.
It's a fun movie. It was, tongue-in-cheek, but it was entertaining.
Well, your career is just amazing, and looking at your resume as we have, and of course you have a documentary being made about your life in case people didn't know. We have a crew here, and you're working on another book.
Yeah, I'm finished with it, and Simon Schuster's side is putting it out. Their subsidiary that handles it, putting it out. Free Press Post.
And there's going to be information in this book that you haven't talked about in your other book. So.
You been playing the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was done in 1986. This book took me 10 years to write.
Okay.
I would start it, and then I decided it wasn't very good, and so then I had to tore it up and start it again. And I didn't have any help on it. My husband helps me with certain things, but I visualize things. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd say, God, I got to write it down right away. I'll forget it. And write it around, and then of course I'd clean it up. And that's kind of the way I did my book. All my memories. I have a fabulous memory. I remember things when I was 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. Every decade of my life I remember. I've got pleasant memories, but the first 10 years of my life is just unpleasant memories. But I do write about it, and it came out, and I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to open up, and I'll write about it. Because I've always been private about my life. Unlike the other two, they like to be open, they told everything. I never did. That's why we were so different, and but there's a reason why I'm here and they're not. That's all. Something. I went to Vietnam twice.
Yeah, you certainly did.
And
I know that changed you.
I risked my life. I was in combat for 3 months, flying around from one fire base to the other. And I met some wonderful grunts, they called them. They sacrificed their life, and most of them didn't come back. That's a true story. And I was up in Quang Tri down in the DMZ area in Doc Ho, and that's when I got shot at. So it was.
Really?
I write about it, and I write about my Vietnam. I met him on Facebook, and he saw me there, and I met him. I talked to him, and his other buddy got killed, Rick, and we communicate all the time. He lives in Sydney, Australia. We talk all the time, and. He's in the book. He's going to be in the documentary too, and he tells about me taking a chances of not talking about a lot of bullshit, trying to expression. But I was there, and he says, "You're one of us, Mamie. You're a grunt, whether you want it or not." And so he says, "People don't know what you did over here." So anyway, I get a chance to talk about it, and my friend who survived, he was a medic combat,
Yeah. Well, you've given back so much. I know you were a big advocate early on in the fight against AIDS and to raise money for that.
Yes, yes.
You just received an award for that the other night at the Greek Theater.
That's when I met Ellen Eicher. Ellen asked me to do a lot of things, and nobody would show up. Nobody came to help. I was the only one who came, except what's her name? She was the two of us were the only ones, and she was. And,
Joan Rivers?
Huh?
Joan Rivers?
Vivian Blaine.
No, she
I
came
don't know.
later.
Oh, Vivian Blaine, okay.
Ellen Eicher would know her name. Anyway, the two of us were the only ones that were really out there trying to hustle for money, and I would go to some of the places and sing. And Maxter, who was the president, ahead of everything, got a letter from him. He says, "Mamie, you raised our first $30,000.
Unbelievable.
And that was great.
Well, you've given so much to us, and now we want to give back to you. And in order to do that, we want to present you with the Cinecon Legacy Award. And it's a very special award that we only give to very special people, as you know. We only do this once a year. And I want to bring up your husband, Thomas Dixon, and your son, Perry, to present this award to you. So let's give them a warm round of applause. They came all the way up from Newport Beach today in the limo. And I'm going to have you gentlemen come on over here to the podium. And let's...
Perry Anthony is Ray Anthony's son. We were married in 1955. And Ray, incidentally, is still living. He's going to be 104 in January.
Wow.
So Perry's got a lot of longevity in the family.
Perry, you're gonna live to at least 100. Good. Congratulations, and it's very well deserved. I'm glad you like it.